Hello, I'm now going to talk about No Hard Feelings 2023. Just saw the film in the cinema yesterday and I loved it. It stars Jennifer Lawrence, who I've seen in numerous films since Winter's Bone. Her character is Maddie Barker. She's a 32-year-old woman who's lived in Montauk, the tip of Long Island, the other side from New York City. The only reason I'm familiar with that town is The Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, the same location. I've really looked forward to Jennifer Lawrence's movies, and it's by the people who created Good Boys 2019, which I found fairly funny as well. So I knew I'd probably like it. Maddie is struggling financially. She lost her mum young and she's inherited her home. So she's got a nice house and she's reluctant to broaden her horizons by moving anywhere else. She's been hassled now though because she's not able to pay all her bills, all the taxes. The same old story that's happening to lots of people. I mean, cost of living crises, they're everywhere it seems. There's certainly a serious problem in the UK. It's affecting an awful lot of us. At the start, she is hassled by Gary, played by Ebon Moss-Bachrach, who's a tow truck driver who's also been in a relationship, one of Maddie's exes. He's getting ready to tow away her car, and of course her car is maybe a saving grace because that's her source of income. It's her lifeline. She has worked as taxi driver, so she's desperate to keep it, but she is unable to sweet talk Gary because of a chap who's with her at the time, and as much as she comically tries to disassociate herself from him, it's not washing with Gary. That means she's having to roller skate everywhere. It's not really ideal, and it seems to be a worse problem. I guess it's a problem in many parts of the UK as well. If you haven't got a car, it's very hard to get around. I'm very fortunate to live in London and walk just about everywhere, but not every city is designed for walking, and I guess the northeastern end of Long Island's not the best place for walking to get about. So she's talking with best friend Sarah and Jim, and Sarah spots an advert for not a nanny, but someone who will help draw a young lad out of himself, bring him out of his shell. He's a 19-year-old. His name is Percy, and he's quite the recluse. He's a bit of a loner. He's living at home, having been bullied in school. He's about to go to Princeton University, and his mother and father, they're very much helicopter parents. They're very much concerned about his welfare, and they think that during the summer holiday, I guess, it starts in June. I don't suppose in the UK summer holidays tend to be July, August into the start of September, but in the States I think it starts earlier because keep talking about June, about this time of year, about a month before it happens in the UK, and she's going to have several weeks in which she can persuade him out of his shell. Well, she goes for what is like a job interview with Percy's mum and dad. She manages to persuade them that she will do a good job. They're going to pay her to be, well, she's not a sex worker, although Percy's father makes some comical remarks that suggest they are very supportive of sex workers. It's the kind of strange situation. They're expecting an early or mid-20s woman, and she's now in her 30s, but she talks the good game. She persuades them that she will do a good job in persuading him to become a fully fledged, well-rounded adult. Let's describe it as that. It sort of makes sense that parents who are worried about, in this case, a son who is very quiet, he's been bullied at school, he might end up getting bullied, hazed at college as well. So I can see where they're coming from. They're really wealthy. The prize for the job that Maddie is going to be doing is the car. So if she is successful film. In bringing him out of his shell, she will get a Buick. I think that's the name of the car. It's there at the top of their drive. There's a really steep drive. I thought there was going to be comedy in the way she could skate up, but more of it is the steps that the parents, when they invite her into the house for this interview. One of the crucial aspects is they don't want Percy to know that's what they're doing. So she introduces herself to him in the animal shelter where he volunteers. That's where a lot of the comedy starts, because she's got to get from the point where she's just looking for a dog and things get a bit out of hand. Not everyone she meets trusts her. I think she's very likeable, but there's a certain vibe that he doesn't particularly like her. There's a nanny who doesn't seem to like her. She's not great at commitment. There's a lot of humour in that as well, but most of it is between Maddie and Percy as she struggles to introduce him into the adult world, gets him to realise that he's got a lot to offer the world. I mean, he certainly does. He's a talented musician, plays the piano, he's got some skills, he's really very good at certain things. Maddie encourages him to drink, kind of is a bit like Absolutely Fabulous in certain respects. Sometimes she's the more irresponsible character. There's this party they go to where all the students take against her. As soon as she walks into the room, they've got this radar, they figure out that she's in her 30s, and that makes them immediately suspicious. I get it. Certainly teens and 20-somethings, they're right to be suspicious often of people in their 30s and 40s. Older adults, I've known people over the years who've come to grief. They've been coercively controlled. It isn't just down to age, though. It can be any sort of power imbalance. It does feel in this film that Maddie is unfairly judged. People are quite rightly suspicious, and I mean, the same sort of thing comes up, probably even more so in Licorice Pizza, which I've still got to review. In that case, a 20-something, about 27, has a friendship with a 15-year-old. I gather there was a storm over that. Anyway, this film does deal with this awkward topic in a humorous and very adorable way. It does get really awkward at times, but it's a really enjoyable film. I really enjoyed seeing it in the cinema because hearing other people laugh, it wasn't just me finding it funny. Other people liked it as well. It's always reassuring. If I find a film funny at home when I'm streaming, I think, oh, should I have laughed at that? I don't know. It's affirming when other people laugh as well. My humour isn't that warped. I'm going to score this 9 out of 10. I'd love to know what you think. Thanks for watching my review, and bye for now.